Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. Thank you so much for being here. So greatly appreciate it. Truly, truly is. So today we're going back down the Reddit rabbit hole with a new story time. I have not read these stories. I have no idea what they're about, and I'm going to react to them for the first time with you guys right now. So let's just jump right in. Someone is watching me. So I've never posted on this sub, though I have other stories I've buried deep until recently, but this is happening in my present. I have had people stalk and follow me before, and because of that and my true crime addiction, I've become supremely paranoid and a solid curtain twitcher. I, 31 female, reside in an upstairs room that was my first room to myself as a child. I had to leave a bad situation and therefore ended up back at my childhood home. For reference, when our house was built, we were told that the field to our left, with horses and a barn at the time, would one day soon be a development. It was 2000 when we were told that, and it wasn't until 2022 that the road started being formed and the foundation laid. I'd already had someone follow me home before when I was young, but I was in a different bedroom next door. My parents put in a free library that's right below my window and nighttime security lights that are very bright and turn on if you're within like 20 feet of the side of my house. I'll admit, having an open field next to me so long made me accustomed to not closing the curtains when I change because there was never anyone to watch. Now there is. For the past 2 weeks, the burglar lights next to the free library have been going off late at night. Because my one side of the curtain is open so I can use my vape, that's the only reason I noticed at all. I didn't think too much about it at first. We lock all the doors and windows every night, and I'm on the second floor. I also looked out to see if it was a car, someone walking their dog, or a deer, only to see nothing. To add, they put in a shit ton of streetlights around the area, so visibility is great. But it just kept happening. So last night I did my usual and I saw the lights come on out of my peripherals. I acted natural, giving full view out the window. I was going to bed. It was about 3 a.m., turning the TV off, closing the window and curtains, turning the lights out. Then I ducked down, peering through the curtains to the sidewalk below. I honestly thought I was going to pass out when, after a few minutes, maybe 5, someone comes out from the side of my house, a silhouette dressed in black. They kept their back to me until the light turned off, but I swear I could still see them standing there looking up, like they could see me. I called the police, but while I was on the phone with the operator, I saw him run off. There wasn't much they could do except say they'd have a car drive around and look. My parents are asleep, and I know I have to tell them tomorrow. This scares the crap out of me. It hadn't been happening for weeks and was a solo incident. I would probably be fine about it, but the fact that the light has been going off without me seeing activity and what happened tonight makes me think this person has been watching me and watching my house. To the person outside my window, let's please never fucking meet. Well, tell us how you really feel. Small update. I did tell my parents, and at first they brushed me off, claiming I had a couple drinks and it was late. So I probably just was someone checking out the library. I then had another conversation about it with just my dad, who said that there had been reports the last couple weeks of car break-ins, and since my car is parked on the side of the street, right outside my window, maybe they're trying to break into it. I pointed out that if he was trying to get into my car, why was he pressed up against the house where he wasn't visible from my window? And why did he at no point go towards my car? I think I freaked him out enough that we are going to potentially get a camera for that area. Given all the development happening around us, I think it's smart even without this incident. Thank you all for your advice and replies. I'll update here again if anything happens. Update. Someone is watching me. There hasn't been any activity since the night after I originally posted. I was on a phone call the very next night with a friend when I noticed someone standing outside completely shrouded in darkness. I proceeded to talk loudly about how some creep was watching me and they better watch out. Stupid? Yes. but it seemed to work because all was quiet after that, or so I thought. Tonight was one of my oldest friends' last night in town, so I was out till about 9:30 p.m., drove two friends home, and then myself. Since it was early, I wasn't worried, but still alert. I drove up the side of the street that he hit on last time, even though it was out of my way, and saw nothing out of the ordinary. I noticed one of the new houses that is being built had its lights on, which I didn't think much of in the moment. Fast forward an hour, and I start hearing a weird, loud banging sound across the way. I know it's risky, but I'm not letting some a-hole dictate my comfort, and I've also been watching for activity so I can maybe catch them. So I've kept my window open as usual. Hence, why it was dumb to razz him the other night by talking about someone watching me, but I digress. It stopped, so I wrote it off. Big mistake. Shortly after, I started hearing banging again, but this time I could actually feel it. It was coming from my house. I genuinely freaked out, like knives out status, but much more cowardly, cowering on my bed floor with my ear pressed against the door and knife in hand. It was a strange hollow sound that didn't seem like the front door. It wasn't. I once again call 911 describing what's happening and thinking they probably are going to write it off because I sound crazy. I still feel in shock because this only just happened. Thankfully, the kind dude on the line definitely took me seriously and said someone would be on their way. For the record, the police department is like a 3-minute drive to my house. I ended up by tiptoeing downstairs to see and once again felt my heart stop. I went to the front window, ducked down, and there wasn't anyone at the front door. Then the banging starts again, and I could tell how close it is. Go to the side window that overlooks the garage, and that's when I saw him, dressed in black, hood pulled far over his face, banging wildly on the garage door with a crowbar. I honestly don't know why he wasn't using the crowbar to break in, but I'm super glad he didn't, as the door inside the garage that leads into the house and it's always left unlocked. To say I panicked is a vast understatement. I nearly pissed myself, which I think is understandable. Yes, it is. Absolutely. I'm just standing there, peeking out the window, watching this guy wail on my garage door with a crowbar, thinking how fucking unhinged he must be and how much I want the cops to get there now. When, just like before, he runs off. I quite literally just got done giving a report to the cops that showed up. My family was woken up and had to talk to them as well, as they're the homeowners. And now they're both so freaked out that my dad just ordered 4 exterior cameras to monitor the house. I don't think it's over yet. This man had some reason he's targeting my house, possibly me, since he started out by watching outside my window. So to this man, you better hope we never meet. I have a crowbar too. Update 2. Someone is watching me. So, I'm not even sure if this is relevant to my previous posts about the person watching me through my window and banging on my garage door with a crowbar, but I'm worried that everything may be connected somehow. A week ago from this last Saturday, I was supposed to meet with a man who had contacted me through social media with friends in common. It wasn't an obvious date, more like a pre-date. We didn't get there though, as he randomly blocked me out of nowhere and then unblocked me and apologized, thinking everything was normal and we were hanging out. When I didn't respond at all, seeing some major red flags in his behavior, he reached out to tell me I had thin skin for not just going along with it and meeting him in a debatably isolated place. In a debatably isolated place. I brushed it off only to get a message from a different man, seemingly unconnected, blatantly asking for a date exactly 1 week later. I asked him up front and kind of rudely why he reached out and wanted to date me, but he was seemingly unfazed. We seemed to have a lot in common and we were supposed to meet tonight. Here's where it gets weird. I asked him if we should meet at 6 in a particular spot. He saw it but said nothing. I figured since he was at work, he was busy, but then nothing all day. And when I checked in again, he saw it after we were supposed to meet, and still nothing. He pursued me just as the last guy, but this time made me more nervous because it feels like he wanted to make sure I was at a certain place at a certain time. For the record, it's a public place, but also very dark in the parking lot and somewhat rural. I didn't think much of that at first, as it's a place I've gone all my life. But it feels like something is going on here. These two men were not reaching out through a dating app. I'm not on any yet, as I wasn't sure about being ready to date again, and I wanted to let things happen, not happen organically. They found me through social media. Maybe it's connected, but commenters on the other posts pointed out how easy it is to find someone's address through social. And these last two men reaching out in such a way, acting in such a way, in so close a time makes me wonder. Maybe the window watching garage door banging is separate. Hell, maybe even those are two separate people. I'm not sure what's scarier, but I'm thinking it's scarier if all of this is somehow connected as my gut tells me. I just don't believe in coincidences. And all of these things happen at the same time is so suspicious to me. I'll continue going to my gym, handling safety courses, and I start Muay Thai next month. So there's that. Hope this wasn't a boring update. I really feel a bad feeling about these two guys. And even if they aren't connected, I hope we don't meet. I forgot to add that as many helpful and worried commenters suggested, we have added 4 exterior cameras. Bad news if you didn't see it in one of my comments on the previous post. My mom lost her keys. They have an air tag, and police have made several attempts to retrieve them, unsuccessfully. We don't always know the location. We have all been keeping bedroom doors locked, and there are no extra keys in the main areas to those bedrooms. But it's still very scary. Having the whole house rekeyed, and my mom has been using my dad's car since she goes to the neighborhood they're in for work. So, yay, on top of all these weird, anxiety inducing incidents, someone out there also has the keys to my house. Update 3. I honestly wish I wasn't writing this right now. I've had weeks of peace with only the ping of my overactive camera system alerting me to people passing by with their dogs or children. Thought everything was fine, and maybe this isn't the most dramatic update, but it was just another scary tick mark to add to the list. I got an alert to activity outside the garage. Because of my garage door crowbar banger, that's the one I always pay the most attention to. I keep weird hours and hadn't been on my phone, so at first I thought it was my dad leaving for work. Then I saw the recording it made instance later. This man walked boldly up to the car in the driveway, my mom's at the moment, and tried the handles of the doors before running off. I called the police with a good description and told them I have it on video. But my town doesn't have a large police force, and some of them are just like any other department, shady and lazy. I've rewatched it so many times now, and he has the same build as the man I saw at the garage before. That's obviously not definitive, but now I have more details about his description I couldn't see before due to the lack of lighting and cameras. I'm still pretty shaky, even though he didn't try to get in or anything, though in my fenced backyard. I hope this isn't a lame update. It feels like it to me because still nothing is solved. And even though it might be unrelated, is that actually probable? That one person and or their house would attract so much trouble from completely different individuals. It doesn't seem likely. To the man outside my house tonight, let's never meet. This man saw the camera before he ran. I don't know if he would have tried more. Weirdest part to me that I think I might just be fucking imagining is that he looks, from the somewhat fuzzy camera stills, quite a bit like the guy I had a one night stand with a couple months ago, right around when all this started. I really didn't think it could be him, but I'm hoping that since I'm supposed to get the ring footage to the officer tomorrow, I can ask who this person is. I'm hoping it's all over now, and I'm thankful for those who provided me with great advice, which gave me a lot of comfort. Unless I'm wrong and there's a second person, which is statistically unlikely, this will be my last update on a thankfully closed chapter. Update 4. Crap, crap, crappity crap, and fuck everything right now. I did not think I would ever have another update. I feel enraged, scared, helpless, and so many other things right now as this just happened. Basically, I'm either a beacon for creeps, I kind of am, but this is ridiculous at this point. Or the guy they caught trying to get into my mom's car was not, in fact, the one watching. Last night, around the same time, I noticed a car that was parked sort of in the front of my house. But from their angle, it gives a good view in my window. I had to start opening it again due to the heat, and anyway, thought the trouble was over. I usually park in this spot, but it was taken up the other day, and I parked elsewhere, which is only important because I know that spot has a good view into my window. They sat in their car, idling for a good 10 to 15 minutes, and then left. I didn't really find it weird, as I figured maybe they just had to input directions or take a call or something. Cut to tonight. Don't know exactly when the car appeared, and because of where they park and the tree in front of my house, I know that they can see me. I didn't notice at first, but when I did, it was a 10-minute stay and they drove off. But this time I watched their taillights go around the corner and they looped back and parked closer, windshield facing me this time. Definitely the same car, and no one exited. I closed my curtain and watched through the cameras as they just sat there. I kind of even see the silhouette of a person in the car from the video I took. But because of where they parked, the camera had a bad angle and was too far to get any detail. But it looked like the same kind of car. That freaks me out more because it was likely they knew where the cameras were and actively avoided them potentially. It's possible after everything. I'm paranoid, but to me, this came across very creepy and suspicious. I could see them just sitting there, lights on, car running in the dark, but I'm still left really afraid. I've done the suggestions given on my past updates, and although they're helping, I just can't stop being afraid. And what if it's a new person? I've reconnected with a few people, and while I can't picture being them, I feel suspicious of everyone right now. I feel like it's just necessary to do this part, and I'm using it almost like a mantra to the point. But to the person outside my window, leave me the fuck alone and let's never meet. Fucking scary. I feel so bad for you. That's all she has so far. If she leaves any updates, I will absolutely bring them to you guys. What do you do? What do you do at this point? Do you just you pack up and leave? Like, what the hell do you do? If you guys are still here, thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you and I appreciate you so, so, so very much. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you haven't yet and you feel so inclined to, because it really helps me out and I really, really appreciate it. And until next time, stay safe out there.